Oh, I know. I don't know if there was sound there or not. I didn't hear it that time. Usually we're dancing and stuff.
I know. I'm missing it now. I don't know. I don't know what to do with myself.
I had, what do I got to do? Onion monitoring, onion, listen to, yeah, I had that back. There we go.
Okay.
No,
Oops.
that's not good.
No.
What the heck's going on?
I
What'd
don't
you
know,
do?
man. I didn't do nothing. You get a couple of days off and you just, everything goes to heck or what?
I guess. Now there we are.
Okay, you can start your opening pitch now.
Wow, that's crazy. My pitch. This is
script.
hockey.
This is the script.
Oh,
man.
the
You
script.
got to follow the script.
Oh, yeah, the script. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sarnia Sting.
There you go.
Live from the concourse. I think I'm here. I've been busy. This thing's been overworked today because it's Remembrance Day,
Yes,
of course.
yes,
So
absolutely.
I was down at Veterans Park live streaming the Remembrance Day ceremony.
Good.
I'm glad to be able to provide that service. There's so many people that can't get out
100%.
and be able to appreciate it. And it's a super important day, right? So,
Yep.
Mother Nature, it's nice when she cooperates, which she did. And
We got rain in Arcona.
did you? Yeah, we didn't get any here. We were supposed to get a little bit,
Yeah.
but it didn't really happen. So, Sarnia Sting here in the house, coming back from a tough loss against Stowe and Sound there, 6-2. I mean,
Yeah.
Nolan Burke definitely a piece of the action that has been missing there. So
Sure.
I would suspect that was kind of a part of it too. How you doing, Aaron? And he'll be off again tonight, right? You got the 2-game suspension.
And that hurts because,
Definitely.
Berkey has been a real factor for us over the past, month or so, and I mean all season, honestly, and having him out and.
He's definitely been a player for us
for sure.
in favor. And then, he's shown some aggressive strength out there as well, which has kind of put him in the position where he is right now. And let's go back to that and we kind of recall what happened there. Getting a 2-game suspension, do you think that was accurately accounted for?
You know what? Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, I guess, for me to question the refs in the middle of a game, but it's another thing to sort of question what the O's doing. Clearly they know best what guidelines they're judging on, and I'm not going to say that what I see is exactly what they see, with all the cameras and the
Well, I
replays
think, pre-pandemic,
stuff,
we started seeing a little bit more of the OHL setting the tone, if you will.
Absolutely.
For we're not putting up with those. It kind of started with some head checking and a few other tough plays in there, And I get the safety factor, but let's talk about that before we talk about the Saginaw Spirit being here today. It's still an ongoing debate. Like, you can turn on a sports channel often and hear the debate of, okay, I get it. No, you shouldn't be able to intentionally head check. Obviously, that can be. You shouldn't be able to intentionally do a lot of things. But as I've learned over, I never understood the fighting thing, but I do a little bit more. I get it now. It's part of the game, part of tradition, if you will.
100%.
People are going to get hurt. If you bounce too high on the trampoline, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah,
but that's sports.
Absolutely, it is. And I mean, especially with, close proximity sports, full contact type sports, and stuff like that. You're right. You're taking a bit of a risk. So, I mean,
but
the question is, where
the risk when you sign up.
And where do you find that balance between, being able to use whatever aggressiveness you might have to further your game, while at the same time you have to be able to protect yourself, right, against those kinds of things. And I think that's one of the things where you see people getting really hurt is the fact that someone is playing an aggressive game, and then you got somebody who just is not protecting, not doing the things that they need to do in order to protect themselves.
Right.
against that. I mean, you can't just put your head down and go screaming towards the net kind of thing.
Let's take this a little bit further as we go up to the NHL, if that's where we end up.
Absolutely.
We have to learn how to do that. Perfect example of what recently just happened from Maroon and, I forget the gentleman's name. Got his wrist or his arm slipped from the skate.
Yep.
That was not an intentional.
Nope.
Maroon felt, you could tell.
Sure.
He helped him off the ice. You could tell it felt really bad.
Absolutely.
And then somebody said, he was wearing a glove that was too short. It should have been. Of course, we can pick that all apart now. The point is, you're putting yourself in that position of stuff can really happen.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're playing an aggressive sport on ice,
right?
Which is slippery,
right?
And you're putting a weapon in people's hands,
right?
Which
There's
is,
that.
I mean, come on, this is not,
Well, you'd like to think that it's respectful aggression.
I agree, 100%. But then it's hard to judge
when your adrenaline's
from
going
the outside.
And you're going, right, absolutely. We're not wearing the skates. So I guess the question is then, and you sort of touched on it, is how far do you go?
Right.
Do we have to send those messages? And I think the answer is, we got to kind of let people know, like, give them an inch, take a mile. We got to be careful about that, right?
Sure.
So maybe that's the message in all of this. I don't know. I've never talked to anybody up or in the OHL, but I think there is a safety concern out there. You've said it yourself, where the referees are a part of making sure everybody's safe out there.
Yep.
So they make the call, and then from there, it's looked at, and here we are.
Well, like any dangerous workplace, you know what I mean? Like, prevention goes a long way,
Right, right. Well, let's talk about now, moving on a little further from there, the Saginaw Spirit here in the house. And here's two teams met here before, one time, and a final score of 7-4 over in favor of the Saginaw Spirit. As I pull up my notes, I want to make sure I got that right. Yes. And so obviously Sarnia Sting looking to take some of that back.
Yep.
But Saginaw is another team. These two teams are pretty close in the same division, right? Mm-hmm. In the conference standings, Saginaw a little bit further up. But nonetheless, I kind of tend to look at the division standings for the most part and go, okay, these two teams are fairly equal, I think.
Yep.
We should be able to beat them based on what we've been seeing from the Sarnia Sting recently. Yep. But here we are, got to come out of the gate. Have we yet seen the Sarnia Sting play 60 minutes of hockey?
Well, no, and I think that, no is the obvious answer to that. And, what are the reasons for that? And I think there's a lot of different reasons why that's the case. Well, no, I'm not getting down on the Sting. Don't get me wrong.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think they're playing a good season so far.
I think it's a great season so far, It's certainly one of our stronger starts. And given the number of guys we got on an injury and all that sort of stuff, it's hard. And then you got different hockey clubs that play different styles of hockey, and I think there's some tradition there where Sarnia has not typically fared well against Saginaw in any season necessarily.
Well, there was a few. Well, I don't know. If we go back pre-pandemic, just the year before that, I remember them going down to Saginaw.
Yep.
And they were winning.
Yes.
Like 6-1.
Yes.
And then we lost.
Yes.
Like 7-6. And you were like, I remember actually running into Darian Hatcher after that game. He had just gotten back from the bus ride. I bumped into him at a local establishment, and I said, "Can I buy you a drink?"
Yeah, yes, or 4.
And he said, "No, that's okay." He's a super nice guy, by the way.
Yeah,
and he was like, "No, that's okay." And I'm like, "No."
No.
He was like, "Okay."
Absolutely.
It was just one of those games where you just put your head down and go, like, "What do you do?"
Yeah.
Right? So, anyway, had to bring that up. But,
no.
but they are typically a good team. They've typically been a thorn in the thigh of the
and
Sarnia
they typically
Sting over the years.
they play a particularly aggressive style of hockey.
Yes.
Which typically the Sting does not necessarily play well against.
No.
And we've seen that same style of hockey from, London and even Owen Sound, typically plays that. Flint plays that sort of same style of hockey, and that kind of thing. So, I think it's going to be a question about whether or not the Sting can sort of solve that little conundrum.
Well,
and come out and play that sort of finesse hockey, very controlled, that kind of thing.
We're seeing a lot of differences here, though, tonight. Burke is off.
Yeah.
But Nolan Dillingham is back in the lineup here tonight. Finally.
Yeah.
So we might see a little bit different style of hockey tonight because Dillingham's out there.
Well, we'll see what happens. No? I mean, I'm hoping that that Dill's coming back at full strength, kind of thing. But I can completely understand if he doesn't come back, necessarily fully 100%. It's going to take him a little bit to get back to the into that
right.
the speed of the game.
I think he's ready. He's been practicing a lot, and I think
good for him.
He's got to be anxious to be back out there for sure.
Well, absolutely.
That can work for or against, but we'll see what happens there. Now,
I agree.
And Dillingham being paired up with Easton Ritchie on the lineup. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and I think that's a good pairing. I mean, Ritchie's really sort of stood out for me in the last few games. He's a bit of a playmaker, which is terrific. Dillingham is as well. So, I think that could be a very productive line.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here tonight. I know a lot of anticipation having the Saginaw Spirit here in the house tonight.
Yep.
And we want to see things keep moving forward here with the Sarnia Sting. I think they got something. Yes, they've had some rough games there. I mean, there's a couple games we won't go, but it was like, what just happened?
Did you happen to notice, are they leaving Sikic as a defenseman? Or did they move him up again?
No, he's playing with Way and Vilmanis.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so they put him back.
Right.
I don't know. You know what? I was just so impressed with Marco's play.
I think the
when
fact
they put
that
him back on defense, it was awesome.
Just hearing Vilmanis in that lineup, that makes me feel pretty good about it because
for sure
we've been seeing a lot of Sandis Vilmanis showing up here for the Sarnia Sting. He's been a star player at the end of the game many times now.
Yep.
And he's showing up a lot. And I think there's some leadership in that side of Vilmanis too.
Yep.
And certainly, again, back to Nolan Dillingham being back. We talked about it last time we were here, Jay, and that was like, okay, the leadership behind the scenes, but who was leading out on the ice?
Yeah.
And now we're back to the captain is here.
The captain is showing up. Yeah,
and here we go.
And let's hope that has the kind of positive impact we're looking for.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's carry on now as we get ready to bring out your Sarnia Sting here in about 8 minutes' time. We're going to go get a
perfect
50-50 tickets and try to win.
Absolutely.
Chocolate Pucks here in the house. Decent crowd here tonight. Nice to see that.
Absolutely.
Swarm warning in effect. We'll be here back after the first and second period, and of course post-game press conference. And
say that 5 times fast.
Well, post-game press conference. That's what you get. And we're live.
I'm sorry, that's funny.
It's okay. And also, of course, we want to say a day to remember. Of course, a special ceremony will be happening here tonight with the Sarnia Sting. Remembrance Day, and you'll be able to watch that on, I think it's 700 HD for Cogeco Television. The game's on there tonight, and tune in to CHOK either on the radio, 103.9 FM and 1070 AM, or online as well. And we'll bring you the updates. Okay, that's it for
100%.
me. With the Sarnia Sting live from the concourse, I'm David Burrows. This is my friend, Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!